Started here. Welcome into Wrestling Spotlight. The spotlight today is on the Quad Father. You've seen him on the channel, roaming the rings in Glory Pro and Central States Wrestling, and a key figure in wrestling across the Midwest. He's looking to spread the reign of the Quad Father to Kansas City when he takes on All-Steel Jay Fowler for the first ever Fountain City Pro Championship. Camaro, hey, it's great to have you on. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while since we started the channel a little over a year ago. It's awesome to have you in the spotlight here. Thanks for coming on.
Me, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, I wanted to give people a little bit of a background too. What are they going to see when they see the Quad Father step in the ring? How do you describe yourself?
Well, I haven't been to Quad Father since March, by the way.
Okay.
But so just for everyone out there, still the Quad
Sure.
Father in heart, but I am the Grand Regent now.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Just the last, what was it, since the last maybe 6 months, 6 or 6 months, 5 months. But my career has been the best time I've had in all of my career. I've really been dialed in and locked in just with my health, my mental health, my physical health. I've done a lot of things differently that kind of help me, I guess, excel in
Mm-hmm.
wrestling, give me kind of that satisfaction that I've always been looking for. Like I'm teetering teetering 8 years in the business almost. So I'm on my seventh year, going on 8 years, and
Okay.
at first, everyone they come into wrestling, like, I want to sign, and go to WWE, I want to AEW, Japan, whatever. And of course, I have those aspirations. Of course, I have those goals. But more so recently, the last 6 months, I'm happy entertaining people. That's like, I think I've really finally figured out like my why. Like, people always ask, why do you do this? And like
Sure.
I always say, like my children, of course, like I do it for my children to show like, um, you can do anything you want. You can put your mind to something and you can do it. And I don't think I knew what that meant up until recently. And I thought I was wrestling for to, get the fame, the fortune, the money, which is all good and great.
Sure.
But I think recently I find more joy in just bringing smiles to people's faces, and whether it's 50 people or 5,000, I'm happy to be a part of something that kind of have people escape their realities and bring them in like a just like a fictional environment. Like what we do is like out of the box, is over the top, and to like interact with so many people over the past year or just in my entire career. People saying like, "Oh man, I don't watch much TV wrestling, but I love watching you wrestle." Oh man, like you inspired me to chase my dreams and become a wrestler. Oh man, I see you work out on social media. Now I'm working out, and I really never took that in and really never thought nothing of it up until recently. I'm like, wow, like a lot of people see me as this larger than life individual. Like even though I'm on the independent level, like a lot of people look up to me, and I appreciate that. I don't take that lightly. So just just the past 6 months, I've just been really trying to give it my all in the ring, leave it all out there. I've lost almost all 30 plus pounds. At
Really?
the
Okay.
beginning of January, I was about 262 when I did the Ring of Honor tapings back in January. I am 220. The lightest I've been as of last month was 223.
Wow.
So it's really
And
been a drastic change for me in ring because I feel like I'm able to actually give more. Like I'm able to really leave it out there in the ring. Not that I wasn't before, but I always felt like, hey man, I'm lacking. Like I'm not giving it my all. and I felt like I really wasn't locked in and dialed in the way I wanted to be. And now I feel like I'm finally getting into a certain rhythm. It's exciting for me, and I feel like the excitement kind of leaks over to the fans like that are watching, and it makes me happy, man. Like it makes me happy that like all this hard work is paying off. And to me, it's not necessarily about the money because the money's good. But it's not necessarily about being like this worldwide uh, phe- uh, uh, phenom. But like I'm able to make someone happy, even if it's
Hmm.
one person. I'm able to make their day better, and that makes me better. That makes me happy. Like I was able to make this little kid in the front row like happy because they saw me be up there, or at least favorite person. Or I made
Sure.
this guy who felt uncomfortable in his skin. Um, I motivated him to be comfortable in his skin. Go do like doing something about it, like inspire people to chase after goals that they thought was impossible. Like that's inspiring for me. That makes me want to work even harder because I want to see everyone succeed. I want to see everyone be successful, and I want to see everyone be happy. And to me, success is not a dollar figure. Success is what's in here. And like it may sound a little cliche to some people, but I mean that. Like I'm having fun, man, and I'm grateful for each and every opportunity that I've gotten in the last year. It's only up from here, man. Like I'm just ready for more, and I'm ready to really spread my vision or my aspirations of what professional wrestling and entertainment is to the world. So my goal is to spread the happiness, spread the wealth of happiness to others. So that was a long answer, but
I like that though. That's good because it ties into something we're doing. The station Wrestling Spotlight. We
Mhm.
just launched, filed the paperwork in Columbia today for our charitable foundation, the Heart of a Champion
There you
Foundation.
go.
And what we're looking to do is to lift up people that are lifting up others. Somebody
Mhm.
that's working with the charity, somebody that's making
Mhm.
people feel better, because
Mhm.
that's what a champion does, right? A champion lifts his
Absolutely.
team and gets people
Absolutely.
behind you. And I've talked about on the channel, I have nothing against WWE or AEW. I've
Mhm.
attended WrestleMania this year and covered it.
Mhm.
We went to London and attended All In at Wembley Stadium to cover it. They're
Mhm.
amazing events. It's really a tremendous experience if you can go. But when you go to a Glory Pro show at the South Broadway Athletic Club, a
Mhm.
100-year-old athletic facility, it's
Mhm.
packed in there and the fans are into it. They know everybody. It does have that family atmosphere. It pulls everybody together. And I felt that same, you feel that same feeling in Fountain City Pro, a company that just
Mhm.
started up in Kansas City. And then we're
Mhm.
getting Anarchy coming back to Kansas City. Central
Mhm.
States announced they're going to get it kicked off again. What is it about that independent wrestling circuit that is, I think, getting itself reestablished, post COVID in
Mhm.
the St. Louis, Kansas City, heck, Alden, Missouri, World League Wrestling?
Mhm.
What is it about that community that really is a motivating force for you? Because you're a big driver of St. Louis wrestling.
Mhm. I think, I think for me, I think it's like that intimate and like that personable setting. Like with TV wrestling, you're not able to really interact with the wrestlers the way you want to on a personal level because it's
Hmm.
chaotic. Like so many people, security everywhere. You can't walk up to Cody Rhodes like, "Hey man, I love you." You know what I'm saying? Like, you could at one point when he was on the Independence, but like,
Yeah.
it's totally a different beast. But I think with the Independence, you're able to have those like intimate moments with others. Like I'm able to sit at the merch table and have a full blown conversation with someone about their day, like, if it was bad, if it was good, and just from that conversation alone, I may have, made a friend, or
Hmm.
may have felt better about themselves, from what they were prior to our conversation. So I think the difference is just like we're more more closer and more personable. Now, granted, on the TV level, sometimes like the superstars go out their way to be personal, be more intimate, but that's very hard because they're
Sure.
already busy doing a million and one things, and they try their best to cater to those fans. But like I think with us on the independent level, especially in the Midwest, especially in Missouri, especially in St. Louis and Kansas City, with the rich professional wrestling history, we're able to kind of channel that lineage, man. So like for me, it's always it's the intimacy with our fan base. It's that personality, that personable relationship. You know what I'm saying? So like that's how I do it.
Yeah, no, I like that because you do feel that because you're in a, small venue with,
Hmm.
300, 400, 500 fans, and you're
Hmm.
definitely part of the show. You are at an All In or WrestleMania too, but it's a different level. It's like going and watching the
Different
Chiefs or
feel.
the, Missouri play versus watching your local high school play. It's just
Yeah,
that
so different.
closeness, that relationship. I
It's
know,
like you're in it. Like you're
yeah,
actually in it.
I know when we launched this relaunched this channel a couple of years ago, my wife hadn't really watched much pro wrestling at all for
Really.
years. We went down to a Central State show, and the
Uh-huh.
person who pulled her back in the most is somebody that you have a very close tie to, the little blue dragon, Tootie Lynn
Yep.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look at her now. She's Terror Strike on WoW as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, a lot of fans in St. Louis and Kansas City are probably tuning into WoW
Absolutely.
just because of Tootie Lynn and seeing her hard work pay
Absolutely.
off.
100%. 1000%. Absolutely. And that's the thing, man. Like when you create that, like those close relationships, those close knit relationships with those fans, they follow you for life.
Hmm.
So like when you reach another level, those you have that fan base, you have that family. Like essentially, you're a family. With these people, you know what I'm saying? We're family in a way.
Yeah,
Um, so it's pretty cool to see like when people progress and they get other fans across the world, country, whatever. But like those ones that were with you, in the very beginning, like small venues and
sure.
those like 20 people crowd, 30 people, 300, whatever. Like it's different, man.
Yeah. Hey, Camaro, what got you into pro wrestling? You said you're going on 8 years now, which is
Mhm.
kind of that time frame. If you talk to a lot of veteran pro wrestlers, they say you really haven't hit your peak until you're 10 years in. So
Yeah.
you're a young veteran. What got you going in it? What got you started?
Oh man, I've always been a fan. I've always watched it growing up. I always had in my back of my head like I want to be a wrestler. I wanna do it. Play sports all my life, and when the opportunity presented itself, I went at it. So in 2014, I did a camp for Harley Race, and at the time I was in college. So
Okay.
I knew realistically I couldn't pursue the career, but I knew eventually I would. And sometimes you hear most people that say like, "Oh, I'll come back and do it," and that's really like rare where someone comes back and do it. And like I made it a goal of mine, dude. I even tried out for Tough Enough. I didn't even like qualify for it, but I even did a Tough Enough gimmick. I wanted to do it, but I know I had to. I'm a very if I start something, I have to finish it. So I wanted to make sure I was done with college first before I pursue something else that
Hmm.
was going to take up a lot of my time and focus. So when the opportunity presented itself in 26 end of 2016, I jumped on it. I'm like, well, I'm about to graduate soon. Time for me to move on. Time for me to do what I want to do. And it's crazy, man. I really didn't imagine how far I would get, and to see how close I am to certain aspects and avenues of the business is very
Sure.
rewarding, you know? Like, doing the AW Darks, doing the Ring of Honors, being backstage for various companies, what I'm saying, getting opportunities with the NWA, um, little kid me is freaking out. Like
Oh
what?
yeah,
Like getting to wrestle Billy Gunn at one point. What? You know what I mean? Like
sure.
I love Billy Gunn growing up. I love Billy and Chuck. I love the New Age Outlaws. Like what? Getting to wrestle with Chavo Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero's my favorite wrestler. Like I literally missed an entire day of school when Eddie passed away.
Sure.
So getting opportunities to dance with these legends that I literally looked up to growing up and shake hands with them and be in the share a ring with them. I'm like, dang man, like I'm really doing something cool. Like I'm really living my dream.
Yeah.
And I'm succeeding at it. Like this is
Yeah.
mind blowing. It blows my mind every day that I'm a part of the organization that I am a part of and how close of of the wrestling history lineage I am to certain promotions. For example, like World League Wrestling,
Hmm.
being having that closeness with Harley Race. Like my trainer was Harley's trainer back in the day, back in the early 90s, 2000s. He was one of the head trainers at the first school.
Yeah.
So having that connection at first, like I said, the 24 camp, the Harley Race camp, then I meet my trainer a couple of years ago to find out he's a Harley guy. Like to have that connection in wrestling is beautiful. So just have it come full circle is it's a blessing, man. It's really a blessing.
Yeah, and that's great training too. We had on Ross and Marshall Von Erich not that long ago, and they talked about how they got that training from Harley Race back at World League Wrestling in Eldon. And their dad, Kevin Von Erich, sent them there, and nobody knew their last name except for Harley because
Mm-hmm.
they want Kevin wanted them to learn the right way.
Yes,
And yeah, it's
gotta
just an
earn it.
amazing experience that you're that close, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And then here to bring it even closer to home, to talk about the level of wrestling that we have in Missouri, in St. Louis, in Kansas City. Tonight, as we're filming this, is the launch of NXT on the CW. The
Mm-hmm.
NXT champion is All Ego, Ethan
Mm-hmm.
Page. He was just recently working in Glory Pro Wrestling. So I mean, you're one step removed from a world champion, which is crazy. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
that's
Right.
great. What was who are some of the guys that you've worked with? Some of the dream matches that you've had? I know you mentioned Billy Gunn, which is a huge one.
2022, I wrestled Josh Alexander on two separate occasions, and that
The
was
walking weapon.
yeah, and I was doing he's world champion. And that was insane because first of all, I'm wrestling a world champion.
Hmm.
Right in his prime. Um, at the time, that's 2022. That's my fifth year, fourth year in wrestling or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm still
Yeah.
young. I still consider myself young in wrestling. But it's just, like still learning, and being able to, like, it's crazy because just a few months before that, I wrestled Billy Gunn. Then a few months after that, I had my opportunity in AEW Dark. Then a few months later, wrestled Joshua Alexander. A few months later, Mike Bennett. Like I'm like, oh my goodness, this is happening so quick.
Yeah.
But they were great learning experience. They were great opportunities for me because I'm learning from guys who've been around. I'm learning from guys who are legit. I'm learning from guys who can take me to that next level. And I don't think I appreciated it. I did appreciate it at the time, but I don't think I understood the value of it until like recently. So
Sure.
like now, you know how sometimes you'll comprehend something a certain way, but later the light bulb really goes off, and now it's really like kind of
Oh yeah. Totally.
it's lit up now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just the fact that I've been through what I've been through in ring, I'm able to apply it even more now because now I'm in that role in a way. Like I'm starting to kind of be in that role of the the veteran, the leader, the captain. And I'm really my goal is to, uphold that, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And still be a student of the game. Because I always say I feel like once you stop learning, you should just stop because you can
Yeah,
never
I mean,
stop learning. You know
I
what I
think you
mean?
always keep learning. I mean, look
Yeah.
at what Sting was just doing, who's
Yeah.
arguably one of the top, well, I think without argument, one of the top 10 pro wrestlers of all time. And look
Absolutely.
at what he was doing in this run in AEW. It was a totally different style than what he
Absolutely.
had done to establish himself. So yeah,
Hmm.
you're still always learning. On that note, I wanted to ask you about it because I don't know if faction is the right word, maybe
Hmm.
more of a family. There's a
Hmm.
whole family of wrestlers from St. Louis that you're, uh, I would say, the leader of. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the people that are in your wrestling family that
Oh
fans can
man,
watch here on
dude.
Wrestling Spotlight?
It all started with Mike Outlaw. That's my guy, man. That's the one I consider my mentor.
Uh huh.
He doesn't like when I say this, but if honestly, if it wasn't for him, I don't think if it wasn't for him, if I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. And he hates when I say that, but it's the truth because he was one of the ones that was always with me every day and pushed me to like my limits or past them. Always encouraging, always wanted to help me, always wanted to kind of show me what it takes to be the best. And again, it kind of goes back to what I said about wrestling those upper echelon guys like the Mike Bennett's, the Billy Guns, the Josh
Hmm.
Alexanders. I didn't understand the value of it at the time, but as I grew as a performer, as I grew as a person, I get it now. I get it now. I get what he was trying to do for me. Like he's preparing me. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like he's preparing me to be the guy of the area or just the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone wants to be the main event, but not everyone can fit the bill. So like he was always just willing to, and still is always willing to give me advice, always telling me like, hey, why don't you try this? This might help you, or X, Y, Z. He's always willing to go out his way to make sure that not only myself but our peers that were successful. Like he's our big brother, like me, Tootie, Moses, Raheem, Munch, like we're locked in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the guy who started it off for me, man. Like, and when it comes to like the hustle part of wrestling, like the grit, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's the guy. He's the reason why I am who I am. And I don't care how you feel, it's the truth.
Well, but you need that partner to pull with, right? And
Hmm.
in independent wrestling, I mean, there is a true group because the road stories that you hear about if you listen into old territory wrestling
Hmm.
podcast, well, these still happen because
Hmm.
I think and I'd imagine you agree with me, you've kind of benefited from the creation of AEW 5 years ago because
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
AEW coming about has made WWE stronger because just like you needed Mike Outlaw to partner
Hmm.
with, I think WWE needed AEW because that
Absolutely.
gave them that competition and it created all these opportunities
Yes.
for wrestlers like yourself,
Yes.
wrestlers like Tootie to get
Yes.
involved and get in the ring at that
Absolutely.
highest level. And I think it just lifts up everybody because
Yes.
now hey, I'm one match away. I'm somebody
Hmm.
maybe watching a match on this channel away
Uh-huh.
from getting a shot in TNA and ROH and
Absolutely.
AEW. The Outrunners,
Yep.
the youngest old tag team in the business. They just signed an
Absolutely.
AEW
Those dudes are
contract
awesome.
right after being in Glory Pro.
Those dudes are awesome. I love those guys.
Yeah, it's amazing they're still going from the 70s.
Yes. Yes.
And they still got the Z-Buzz pants on and still filming VHS. That's
Oh,
great.
dude, they're awesome, man.
Now, hey, who's a younger a younger wrestler that's coming up that fans should look out for and watch? Maybe somebody that's under the Camaro learning tree in
Oh man.
the Missouri region.
Geez. Man, it's a few, but I'll say there's a guy named Ashton Reacher. He just had his first match a couple weeks ago at Pro Wrestling Epic at Grandel or at Pop's nightclub.
Okay,
Only 6 months in the business, and he had his first match, which is very rare because it sometimes takes people years to catch on to wrestling.
sure.
He has an MMA background. Let's see, jujitsu. I think 10 years of jujitsu.
Hmm.
Um, young guy. He reminds me a lot of myself when I first started wrestling. Just always wanted to train, always wanted to just be present and be in the moment and doing anything he can to help. And with that work ethic and attitude, it shows. 'Cause now this kid is booked everywhere now. Everywhere now. He just had his first match. He's only been training 6 months.
That's
But
amazing. Yeah.
when you're a fan of this, it's easy. And when you're a great athlete and when you have a great work ethic, that is a recipe for success. So Ashton Reacher is the guy.
I like that one. Hey, let's give a little voice because I've got the Wrestling Spotlight Championship here, but you're going to be the Fountain City Pro Champion
Absolutely.
going up against
Absolutely.
All-Steel Jay Fowler, and you're going to have to watch out for Captain Midnight Guthrie in the
That guy.
ringside. Tell me a little bit about that match that's coming up at Fountain City Pro on October 18th.
Oh man. So like I said, man, like I started wrestling, I started training, I started my career in Kansas City. So I have like a lot of weird sub goals, and I've never won like a heavyweight championship in Kansas City. Like, I won championships everywhere, but not there. And I
Okay,
consider that my home. Like I consider that my second home outside of St. Louis.
sure.
So that's a goal of mine, and I'm like I have to do this. Um, I don't like how I beat Fowler a couple months ago. Like I don't do roll ups. I knock people's heads off their shoulders with my lariat. So I'm gonna do this the right way. And even if Midnight Guthrie gets involved, I'm gonna knock his head off. And I'm
Hmm.
gonna win what belongs to me. Um and just plain simple. And I'm a very goal oriented person and I have to accomplish my goals. And sometimes when you have goals, you these roadblocks. And if I hit a roadblock, that's okay. I'm gonna figure out a way to go around it and I'm gonna keep gunning for that goal until I accomplish it. So like I'm excited for that opportunity. I'm excited for the match. It's going to be electric. Oh my goodness, I love Fountain City. It's a great place to be at right now.
Yeah, terrific venue, conveniently located just
Hmm.
outside of Kansas City in Olathe. That's coming up on October 18th. It's at the Ball Event Center, Fountain City Pro Wrestling. You can search them, get more information, and of course, you can just go to the Wrestling Spotlight Twitter account, and you can find more. Hey, let's go to championship round. Just a few quick questions as we wind it down here. How about your dream match?
Ooh, uh, let's see. Man, this is hard. This is very hard. Uh, man, you know what? If I could wrestle Chavo Guerrero one on one and not be his partner, that'd be great for me. That'll be the
Okay.
closest I will ever get to wrestling Eddie, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and
Somebody
having
whose
that
name comes up a
experience,
lot when I
you
interview
know,
wrestlers. Yeah.
and Chavo is great. So if I ever have the opportunity to wrestle Chavo one on one,
Okay.
him and Dijak,
Dijak. Okay. Well,
those are my
Dijak's
two.
out there in MLW now, so you can
Those are
definitely
my
we can
two.
give that voice and hopefully make that happen. How about favorite
Absolutely.
venue?
Oh, hmm, that's tricky. That's tricky. Hmm. That's tricky. Maybe this is a little biased. uh, the Billikens Arena.
Okay. The Chavez
When I had
Center.
yeah, when I had my opportunity to AEW Dark for the first time, and I went in there, I did my squat suplex, and the fact that place went nuts was like, you guys like that? Oh my god,
Yeah.
so cool, so cool. Like, oh, like I don't even work here. You guys reacted off of that. You guys love me. Ah! So yeah.
And just one quick one because personal fitness is a goal of lots of people. I mean, I'm trying to drop another 10 pounds. I'm down from 280 to 228.
There you go.
Try
Yeah.
yeah, trying to get back to my old wrestling weight at 210. What did you do to drop 30 pounds? Because you were
Ah.
in no means out of shape.
I actually started doing cardio in the gym. I didn't half-ass anymore.
Okay.
Um, a big enemy of mine at one point was the Stairmaster. I could not go over 5 minutes to save my life, and it sucked. And I refused to push myself. And you know what? I'm going to put over somebody because if it wasn't for him, I would have never changed my gimmick, and I would have never changed my attitude, and I would never locked in the way I did.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Cameron Rogers, formerly known as Kurt Stallion, Lone Star. Um, a few months ago, man, we just had a conversation, and he was like, "Man, like you're really good, but you need to get 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 next level." And without getting too deep in what the conversation was, you know, I take his advice serious, man. That's the one I look up to.
Hmm.
So after that conversation, um, once I switched gimmicks, and around May, the beginning of May, well, this is actually I'm gonna add this piece of it. Add
Sure.
this piece into this story. I tweaked my gimmick, changed my gimmick. Then I had a match in May, and a wrestler made a comment about my look in ring, and I'm like, damn, am I fat? And like I never was outspoken. Like I wasn't like overweight or nothing like that. I've always been in shape, but I'm like I'm not happy with how I look. I don't look like the wrestler I want to look like,
Hmm.
so I need to change that. Like I feel like if I ever want to give my all the way I want, like my 110% all in ring, I have to give my 110% outside of ring. I have to present
Sure.
myself a certain way, and I don't want to cheat the fans. Like I don't want to just half-ass do something just because I'm strong. No, like I'm an athlete. I can move. I want to show y'all that I'm still athletic. I can jump. I can run. I can pick up. I can throw. I can do it all. So just that just keeping that in mind, and also like I had a lot of like nagging injuries that I thought was from wrestling, but it was from my size. Like my
Uh-huh.
knees were bothering me. My left hip was, it was terrible. Like I couldn't stand up and walk for more than like 5 minutes without like a sharp pain going to my leg. And I thought I just messed it up in wrestling.
Yeah.
But no, like just I'm not a tall guy, so being 260 plus, it's a lot, to
Yeah.
carry around. I'm trying to run, I'm trying to jump, I'm trying to do, little guy stuff. And that's just not meant for me, my body size, my body composition. So I had to really ask myself the question long term, like, okay, is this going to be beneficial for me long term? Is this going to help me long term? Or is it going to hurt me? So ever since I dropped all the weight, those nagging injuries literally disappeared. My hip doesn't bother me no more. My knees kind of bother me a little bit only because I've been throwing drop kicks like crazy.
Sure.
So I had to recently kind of reconstruct what I do in the gym so I'm able not to be in less pain. But I don't have my back doesn't bother me anymore. Like I'm sore after I wrestle, but it's a normal sore. The next day I'm able to wake up like, okay, I'm good.
Hmm.
Versus before, I'm barely getting out of bed. My hip is hurting, my back is, my knees, and all of this. And I'm like, okay. So it's been very beneficial to kind of have someone tell me like, hey, you really need to do something different, and also having like kind of that negative experience with another wrestler, and kind of going like, damn, like I need to look in the mirror and like do something different. And I'm a big person of like, even when I'm right, there's something I can do to be different. That's something I can do to change. Like that's really big with me. I try to accept accountability like all over the place, even when I'm
Hmm.
right. So it's been really cool, man. It's nice to finally look in the mirror in the gym and I don't have to put on a filter and have abs. It's finally super cool to look at my
Sure.
arms and see veins popping out of it. And and it's just it's weird, man, because like I feel 18 again. I'm 30. I feel 18 again. And like long term, like I wanna be able to run with my kids when they get older. You know what I mean? I want to be able to do stuff
Sure.
with them when they get older. Like I wanna look good. I don't wanna just look like I'm just old and blobby. Like, like and I feel weird. And it's just me. I feel weird, helping people with their fitness goals if I'm not helping myself. So it really took me finally practicing what I was preaching to others and just applying it to myself and just locking the F in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Super relatable. Absolutely.
yeah, man, like like it's crazy. And like it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing because it's all coming together now.
Oh yeah, you can see the explosivity in some of your moves now too. I saw you do a couple of topes, and yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell. I mean, you're moving like a luchador in some cases, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
Hey,
man. I'm
let's
like,
wrap it
shoot, let
up.
me do some stuff
Yeah,
now. We can move
doing the
now.
tope suicidos. Let's go ahead and go to our weekly champion. We'll just ask you who your champion of the week is. Could be anybody in the world of pro wrestling
Okay.
from Wrestling Spotlight, and now brought to you by the Heart of a Champion Foundation.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ty Valkyrie La Huera Loca, and you are watching Wrestling Spotlight.
So, Camaro, who is your champion of the week?
My champion of the week. Hmm. Ah, man, this is tough. My champion of the week. Hmm. Who would I give it to? There's so many people who are deserving.
Well, you know it's
Jake
not going to
something.
be All-Steel Jay
That's Jake
Fowler.
something is my champion of the week. You want to know
Jake
why?
something,
Because Jake
okay.
something is awesome. He deserves $1 billion. He's awesome. I love
He
him
is good.
so much. He deserves the world. He deserves. That's another guy I look up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to ramble. I'm sorry. That's
Hmm.
another guy I look up to. Just he's a monster. He's a beast. Like, that's the guy. That's the guy. Like, when I see him, I'm like, okay, I want to be better than that. I don't want to be just as good. I want to be better than that. So that's my champion of the week right there,
That's a
Jake
good one. Yeah,
something.
he is an impressive wrestler, and he's getting his chance again in
Yeah,
TNA. And
that's the man.
you can see him on the channel on Glory Pro. Well, hey,
Absolutely.
mine is a member of FTR, Cash Wheeler,
Yes.
because he is stepping up and helping his community. Uh,
Yes.
Lives in North Carolina, a city that was devastated by
Mhm.
Hurricane Helene just over this last week.
Yeah, man.
Cash started a GoFundMe. He's helping organize donations.
Yes.
I've shared that and reposted it on the Wrestling Spotlight X account, the Twitter account.
Yes.
Definitely help him out because that is part of it, right?
Yes.
If you're a family, if Glory Pro, Fountain City,
Yes.
the people are close, so that's
Mhm.
huge to help out. And I really was impressed with him. That's part
Mhm.
of the reason why I went ahead and just started up the charity. And I want to
Absolutely.
let any wrestling company that is doing any kind of fundraising for those hurricane victims, you got free national TV time right here on Wrestling Spotlight. Just reach
Mhm.
out to me. But this week, champion of the week, Cash Wheeler. And
Yes.
hey, yeah, I think he's doing a great job and just bringing bringing notoriety because I mean there was an unprecedented storm and some of the
Yeah,
cities just
man.
got
It's, everything
essentially
was
got
working in
wiped off
Katrina.
the face of the earth, according to the governor of North Carolina. So
Wow.
really just devastating. So reach out to him. Anything you can do to help, hit up the
Absolutely.
GoFundMe, and they have some really good people that are helping coordinate those donations. And anything you can do, those people need a helping hand.
Absolutely.
So give them a lift up.
100%.
Yeah. Hey, want to just mention one more time at Fountain City Pro, Camaro Jackson taking on All-Steel Jay Fowler for the first ever Fountain City Pro Championship. It's coming up on October 18th, Friday night, bell time in the spirit of old Saturday Night WCW, 7:05.
Yes.
Where can people reach out to you? Where can they follow you to get the inside take on that match coming up?
So on Instagram and my ex account, Hill Camaro, so HEEL Camaro, CAMARO. I'm on TikTok, Hill Camaro as well. Facebook, Camaro Jackson. YouTube, Camaro Jackson, and yeah,
Okay.
and also before it's SPL Pro Wrestling Academy. That's the same on all socials as well. I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, hey, I'll look forward to seeing you before the match coming up at Fountain City Pro. And thanks so much for
Absolutely.
joining us here
Thanks
on
for having
Wrestling
me.
Spotlight. Oh, absolutely. And stay tuned for more sports and entertainment right here on Wrestling Spotlight. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.